Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. We're kind of excited to have the first HR Summit since I've been here. I've been here for about 3 years. My name is Tricia Bach with HRD. I'm the administrator. I know most of you, at least on the phone, a lot of you in person, and I've known a lot of you because of my prior job at the AG's office. So, but there's a lot of new faces in here, and I hope that you're mingling and getting to know some of your other counterparts. The agenda we have up behind me, and then it's also in the back of the room too. For those of you who are in the back that can't see this, you can turn around and look at the agenda on the back. So basically, I just want to thank you all for coming. Thank everybody who set this up. Jenny and Stacy, who basically put this all together, I want to thank them as well. We're hoping to be able to do this every year, and you guys will be able to let us know if you want to see some different items, you want to change it up, give us your feedback at the end tomorrow and let us know so that we can make sure everybody's getting what they want training-wise. We do have somebody to kind of help us along during this summit. His name is Doug McGee, and he has been working with the Department of Transportation. He's actually been an employee of the state of Wyoming for 19 years. He was on the PMI Continuous Improvement Project that has been going on right now, and then also the one that happened when PMI started. He was also involved in the Hay Group, so although he's not HR, he is somebody who's been involved with a lot of the bigger projects, and there's a reason for that. He can get up here and talk a lot better than I can, and he can make it a little more entertaining for us. So, Doug McGee, come on up. Yeah.
I brought my own. Yeah. It is bright up here. Good morning. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't clap because my first gag was I was going to look at my notes and go, wait for applause to die. But, so yeah, I'm Doug McGee. I'm the YDOT guy. I actually like that title quite a bit. So you might be wondering why the hell I'm here other than that introduction, and that is pretty much most of it. I've been fortunate and a few times unfortunate enough to have a lot of interaction with HR over my career in state government. And a lot of it was on those bigger projects. Actually, the first time I got involved with HR was in a relatively good way. Lon Fow, if anybody remembers Lon from YDOT days. I was just new, so in my position as public affairs officer, and so that must have been around 05 or something, and Lon called me down and asked, says, can you help us? We really want to improve and soften HR's image at YDOT. So I would, we'd really like some help with that. I was like, sure. We should start with a name change, because human resources, it's kind of hard, people already have, he says, well, what can we call it? And I was like, I don't know. And I've kicked around a lot of ideas here. I was like, I don't know, how about, YDOT's Office of Wine and Free Shoes? So well, that wasn't going to happen, but I had some other ones that Ann already told me I couldn't say, so I went with Wine and Free Shoes. And human resources, so in public affairs, we always say, man, this would be great without the public. And I'm sure you guys often think human resources would be awesome without all those humans. But pretty much the same group. And then I was talking with Jared. It's kind of weird being up here and looking out. So in PR work, it's like nationally 75% female, and the other 25% must be us. And then I'm looking around here, I'm like, yeah, it must be like 85-15. So I don't know what that says about us guys, but guy power is good. So, and then I had another bit about a support group and everything, but so I'm not going to do that. But so I'm at PR so I'm one of 14 kids. I'm the third oldest. So public speaking comes pretty naturally to me because that's what it was at home, was public speaking. And I was always kind of the boisterous one, and I'm my mom's favorite. So that gave me an overinflated ego, which I've been dealing with for about 50 years now. And I know I'm her favorite. She never told me that, but I've met the other 13, they suck, so I have to be the favorite. And then another interesting point, so as some of you know, I'm the PR guy, and I married one of your own. I married an HR gal. And so it's Ann. Oh, dear, you don't have to wait. Oh, she waited. She admitted it. So, your kind can't successfully interact with other kinds. So we should take heart in that. So I was going to do it. I'm actually going to get around to why I'm supposed to be up here, but I never pass up an audience. I killed it with a group of Laramie County School District number 1 retired teachers like 2 months ago. I mean, I don't even know if we talked about roads, but man, that was a fun day. And then a couple weeks later, I had to present to a bunch of telecom guys who, they do not dig my style of humor. Of course, I also was telling them, you can't post work stuff on your personal Facebook site, or I'm going to shut down your personal Facebook site. So that didn't go good. But so anyway, speaking of being married to one of your kind, so dating an HR person is really challenging. So those of you that are single, if a guy comes knocking at your door, you cut up some slack, or a gal, those 4 guys that are in here in the room with me. So, because I remember, the first night I showed up at Ann's, knock on the door, she shows up, and I'm like, hey, are you ready to go? She says, well, could you come in for just a minute? I want to go over, I have a list of my expectations. And we'll be doing a little PMI review at the end of the night. So I need you to read these and then sign it. Press hard, the 3rd copy's yours. This needs improvement. So I've been working hard, though. I got up to meets. Woo! So that was fun. But anyway, so I was involved in the Hay study, which we're probably not going to talk about that a whole lot. But I was really excited. I was like, wow, this is cool. I got asked to be on this big committee. It's going to be really neat. And then I turned out, so we get around to, well, we need this, the first meeting, there's already talking about, we need a regular communication piece printed and delivered to every single employee. So I was like, well, how are we going to pay to print that? We have to, that's going to be really expensive. And everybody in the room turns and looks at me. And the guy running it was Australian, and I'm going to try to do that accent. I'm really better at other ones. He's like, "Oi, mate, aren't you transportation? You've always got the money." So I'm just the money man. Which we had in-house printing, which we still do, so that's where I got to do that. And then I was on the communications teams for the first PMI. It was really cool just to be a part of that. Now, I won't talk about PMI because I'm currently a little behind. I'm sorry. But now after being on the committees, I know, hey, those emails are automated. Catherine doesn't actually think that poorly of me. It's this computer system that hates me for being late. And now I'm on the current PMI team, which had a really long name, but I already forgot what it was. But I'm on that one. So I'm on the communications and training team there, and I was on the scoring and something with the D team, so that was fun. And actually, if it all goes through, it's going to be really awesome. It was fun to be a part of that. And I think that's why Tricia asked me to do this, other than, she'll claim she didn't say this, but I know at one point she said, just be funny. It's like, wow, there's no pressure. I feel good about that. But so when I was asked to be on those teams, so every time I was working with all kinds of HR folks, and I was working with a group run by A&I HRD. And I had take it easy, brace yourselves, I had a good experience. It was really fun because, I came from YDOT, and I have 19 years of state experience. 2 of that was when I was in college at UW, which finding out the thing, did you say it's called a bridge, where you get to find this stuff from your past and add it to? It was the single greatest day of state employment. Like, I just got 2 years closer to retirement with a piece of paper. Whoo! What else have I done? So, but 17 years of YDOT, so all of my perspective is from the flagship agency. We're the biggest and the best, obviously. So, but we are the biggest, and so my perspective is always about that. Well, how do I communicate this to 2,000 people? That's usually the number I throw at, although we're currently somewhere around 1,890 or something. But so it's always big agency stuff. And yeah, we have a lot of funding sources, so we have ways to get things done. So I never think about anything from the perspective of an agency that's like 24 people, or I think there's some even smaller than that. Somebody just say 6? What, do you just work from home? What are you doing? 6, you could fit in my living room. What the hell? Or one of those really nice new cubicles that only goes this high. Yeah. Tricia and her team and folks before, they make sure that that perspective is maintained. It's not always going to be about the big agencies, and it's not going to be just about the little agencies. They're going to try to accommodate all of those things. And I really did have a really good positive experience. And what I got to find was I could stand up and I like to talk. I always think I know best. So if you want to stay out of trouble, just do what I say. And shut up. So I got to talk that way in those meetings, and I got to have that chance, and everybody got to voice their opinion. And it was I've rarely been a part of a really truly collaborative experience. And that was one of them. And everything I've done with HR, and I think all of you, if you haven't had these opportunities to have these experiences at your own agencies, regardless of with ANI, HRD, or whatever, reach out to folks and really let them know. I learned early on I can go to my HR team back then and now, and all those years in between, and talk things through. And it doesn't automatically go to some form of, well, let's whip out this form and fill it out, and somebody's going to get their butt chewed. Because that's what you think coming in. If you're a supervisor who hasn't been in the system, hasn't spent a lot of time with it, I don't know what it is, if it's media or movies, TV, or books, but you have a bad rep, and you really do need to communicate and put out that helping hand. And one of the ways that I think you could find some help to do that is to work with folks above you or other folks like you, your peer groups. Reach out and find out, how are you building those, is that mine? Did I forget to turn mine off? Okay. So, well, whoever that is, damn it. Yeah, I'm looking right at you. Also, where's the guy from Workforce Services that knows my daughter? Seriously, you Snapchatted me, dude? I was supposed to give you a hard time, that's all I got. So, but anyway, I really enjoyed that process, especially this last one. It was kind of heated, because after like 7 years of the current PMI system, everybody rolls into that room like, oh, we gotta change this. And we all had our own reasons. I wasn't in HR, so I didn't have to deal with, my God, all the complaints, I'm sure. And I remember I did shoot off a few emails to Catherine, like, seriously, you're emailing me at 2 in the morning because I'm late with the PMI? You got nothing better to do with your time? And then that's when it's an automated system. I'm not up at 2 in the morning. Well, I didn't know that, so actually I did try to spread that around. Those are the types of things. And then it comes to find out a third of my score is whether or not I do my PMIs on time. Hey, somebody could have told me that. It's been 7 years. And I have what's been officially diagnosed as authority opposition disorder, which is a fancy way of saying, you're not the boss of me. So I was late on purpose. And I found out I've been risking a third of my score, but on the plus side, I don't think that's actually coming into play for me. But, it was just, I guess that's what I'm here. So here's I had like a 20 or 30 minute phone call with Tricia the other day, and there's my notes from it. So, and it actually says, de-demonize, ANI HRD. Also, I recognize de-demonize may not be at all a word, but they're good people, and I heard something else too, so I'm going to steal some of your content from earlier, but Tricia's not out to get you. I've worked with her on a number of projects like I talked about, and she's never come after me. She did just move in across the street from us, so that's kind of weird. On an unrelated note, we bought new curtains for the front windows this weekend. So Anyway, so I do recommend that, don't be afraid to call down to A&I and ask for assistance or just someone to blow off steam with and say, hey, I'm not looking for an answer necessarily, but I got to get this off my chest, and maybe you've had some experience with it. And just let it rip, It's going to be okay. So before I close, I'm going to tell the bear story because I was told to tell the bear story. So that's how I made that transition, buddy. So I was brand new at White-Dot. It was 2001, I still remember. It was late July, and we were finishing this big project, this route into Yellowstone, and we call it the North Fork. I can't remember the route. I know I work for White-Dot, and I'm supposed to know the number of every highway from one corner to the other. I don't. But it's this beautiful, beautiful drive that you're kind of going across that northerly, it's the North Fork. So, and we're just finishing up, and there's this place called Pahaska Lodge, and there's a river right there, and this bridge goes over it, and man, it is, I haven't been there for a long time, but it's beautiful country. So we wanted all this footage of the construction wrapping up. The bridge over the river had been a challenge. It's really scenic. It's everything you want in PR, so my boss sent me up there with the photographer. So the first thing we do when we get on site, we're looking over, like we got to get up in the hills to look down on this thing because the bird's eye view is going to be the best. So we always go find the engineer that's in charge of the place. Introduce ourselves, let him know who's going to be wandering around and everything, and he knew the photographer anyway, Rick. And so the guy, he looks at us, he's like, so you're going to wander around in the woods? I'm like, well, yeah, we're going to head up there. He says, I don't see any bear pepper spray on your belts. You don't have any bells on your shoes. You're not wandering around my site without proper protection. I'm like, yeah, we're going to put bells on our shoes. What are we, Keebler elves? And then I look, well, every one of them has a big can of pepper spray on their belt. Every White-Dot guy, everybody with a White-Dot helmet has a pepper spray on their belt. And Rick says, well, I figured we'd get them from you. And I said, okay, so he gives us some. And he brings out this cardboard box, and it's full of these elastic bands with bells on them. I'm not putting bells on my shoes. This is crazy. And up comes two engineers, big, rough, tough, crawling around the mud type of guys. They got bells on their shoes. And Rick's like, this is real, man. We put our bells on. And it scares off the bears. They don't want nothing to do with you. So if you give them a little warning that you're coming, they're going to go away. All right. Well, I don't like bears. By Wyoming standards, I'm a city boy, so I'm going to wrap myself in bells. And I said, well, the guy's like, just stay out of anything that looks like bear country, you're going to be okay. I said, well, how do I know if I'm in bear country? I don't know. I was born in Iowa, and then I grew up in Cheyenne. I don't know bears. So we'll watch for bear scat, which if you don't know what scat is, it's poop. So watch for bear poop. I said, yeah, I'll just look for bear poop. I know what that looks like. He says, well, there's two kinds of bears. There's black bears and grizzly bears. Black bears, they want nothing to do with humans. They're scat, they eat plants and berries and roots, and it's black and stringy and oily. Sorry, that's gross first thing in the morning. Enjoy your pastry. So he says, you're going to know it when you see it. So you see that, leave. So, all right, well, what does the grizzly bear poop look like? Because those are the scary ones. They're going to come after you. So, yeah. So grizzly bear scat has little bells in it, and it smells like pepper. So some of you probably have heard that joke. I'm not stealing something. That literally happened to me, that whole thing. So anyway, I end up walking up the hill like, is that a bear print? Is that a bear print? I don't even know if I shot any video. So that's the bear poop story. There you go. I told the bear poop story. Are we rolling, Matt? Oh. Reminding you to drive safely and always buckle up. So that's it. So I have lots of other little HR stories and whatnot, but we won't get into them today. But I appreciate being able to stand up here. I do really enjoy talking, which comes in pretty handy when you're a PR guy. And if I made you laugh a little bit, that's like a little drug for me. So my endorphins are really hitting right now. So thank you. It's going to be a great day. But again, yeah, demonize A&I. Could you write that down? A&I, HRD are not demons. Just write that down, and I'll feel like I did a good job. Okay? That's all I got. Thanks, everybody, and have a good day. I think I'll see you tomorrow morning. All right.